I noticed that my cousin, Dickinson Brown Emerson, needs ordinances to be done because of the green temple icon. When I'm on his details page, I click on his ordinance tab. I come down and look at his ordinances that need to be done. This one right here needs to be done. He needs to be sealed to his spouse, Agnes. When I click on request, it will not allow me to check mark I'd like to seal those until I've resolved a problem that the family tree has found. It's a possible duplicate. I'm going to X out of that, go to his details page, and see if I can find a possible duplicate for him. So Family Tree has found another Dickinson Brown Emerson in the family tree. Dickinson Brown Emerson, possible duplicate. If I clicked on that, I can click on Review Merge. It takes both of these Dickinsons and puts them in a column with their individual information below them. This Dickinson Brown Emerson has his vital information on this left-hand side with his spouse Agnes, his daughter Etta and Harold, and parents. On the right-hand side, there is a column, Dickinson Brown Emerson. There's also a notation saying, this Dickinson Brown Emerson and information remaining in this column are deleted at the end of the merge process. So if there is anything more accurate over on the right-hand side than on the left, I would want to replace it so I'd have the most accurate information on the left-hand side. In this case, the name is the same. I don't need to replace it. I can either click reject or I can just leave that here because it will be deleted at the end of the merge process. Same thing with the word deceased. I don't need to reject it. I can leave it here as well. Coming down the page, I see that there is an Aggie married to that Dickinson. And this one, there is an Agnes married to this Dickinson. There's also an Eddie Brown Emerson, born in 1885. If I were to click on that, I would see she was born in Paris, Ontario. And over in this column, there's an Etta, very similar name, who is born in Ontario in 1885. So, if I think that these two people, Dickinson and Dickinson, are the same people, I need to also resolve at the same time the problem with these people being attached to the person on the right-hand side. I can't leave them just floating out here. So I'm going to add them over, Aggie as a spouse to Dickinson. Now he has two spouses, Agnes and Aggie, with similar last name. And Eddie Brown Emerson, I can add her as a child over. I can't leave her just dangling over here when I have merged the two fathers together. Even though this Dickinson has a child by the name of Etta and Eddie, I will want to take care of that problem later. I'll come down the column, and I wanted to show you that this notation or this source came from the right-hand side. When it was possible that I was going to merge these two people, then it throws it over to the left-hand side, assuming I'm going to merge them, and I want to keep that notation as well. If there is a photo or a story on the person on the right-hand side, that also is thrown over to the left-hand side so that we would be able to keep that information. I can click on this clearly is not a match, born in the wrong place, wrong names, wrong dates, but in this case, I feel like they are a match. So I'm going to continue the merge. He wants to know why I think these two Dickinsons are the same. I'm going to say same name, say similar spouse, and similar child's name. And child born in same province. Now there's no more notation saying that there's a possible duplicate. If I were to click on ordinances and want to do the sealing to his spouse, it would allow me to request that. However, I noticed that because of the merge, he has two spouses. One is Agnes and one is Aggie. I feel like I need to resolve that problem by merging these two ladies together before I go ahead and do this sealing. I'm going to go back up to the details page. Now I see that Dickinson has a wife named Agnes Brockbank and a wife named Aggie Broadbank with a child named Eddie here and Etta here. So let's see if we can resolve the problem with Aggie and Agnes. In order to resolve that possible duplicate, I will need to click on her name, click on her person page, because I have to resolve this duplicate from Agnes's page. Come down the page and look at her parents. Her father's name is Brockbank, so I have a feeling that the Broadbank was just indexed incorrectly. I'm going to go up to the top again, and we can see that there are several index records that I can attach to her, showing that her name really is Brockbank. Now, there are no possible duplicates showing for her, but I know there was an Aggie Broadbank who I think is the same spouse as Agnes. So if it's not coming up, I will need to merge this person by using the ID of the other person. Remember, I found that other Aggie under Dickinson's page. I'm going to click on Dickinson, go to his person page. I'm going to come down and click on the number of Aggie Broadbank, her ID number, and then click Copy ID. Now I'm going to go back up to Agnes, click on her person page, and even though it doesn't give me a possible duplicate to click on and compare and merge together, I can come down to Tools and click on Merge by ID. I can paste in that ID number of Aggie and continue the merge. So I have forced this merge to be a side-by-side comparison. The first person over on the left-hand side is Agnes Brockbank, and over on the right-hand side is Aggie Broadbank. So I don't like this name as well as this name because this is the same last name as her father. The gender is the same. The deceased notation is the same. The spouse not only is the same name, but has the same ID number. The system put these two people parallel across from each other so you could see that they were actually the same card. Now this one over on this side has a child by the name of Eddie. So I'm going to add that in. I don't need to replace this Dickinson because he's got the same number, he is the same card. I don't need to do anything with him. I'm going to continue on down the page. Notice that this one from the right hand side had a source, so it throws it over to the left, assuming I'm going to continue the merge. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this merge. I'll say similar first and last name, similar daughter's name, same spouse, and finish the merge. Now all I have to do is merge the Eddie and Etta. So I will go to one of them. I'll click on Etta. Let's see, I'm going to click on Eddie. Eddie has already had her baptism done, but needs the other ordinances done. Etta needs all of her ordinances done. When I finish merging these two people, then it'll show that baptism has been done. I'm going to go ahead and click on Etta's person page. It comes up with this possible duplicate, Eddie Brown Emerson. So I'll click right here on that and review the merge. I think Etta might be the official name. Eddie seems like it's a nickname, but the middle name Brown is unique. I will remember later to put the middle name Brown in here as well. I could either replace this with the full name Eddie Brown Emerson and remember to go back to Etta, or I can just add the Brown later. I'm going to go ahead and undo and remember to add Brown later. This date of birth is more accurate than this, so I'm going to replace that. I'm going to come down the page. These parents are side by side. They have the same number, so they are the same cards. Coming down the page, I can see that this source was sent over from this side of the page and will contribute to the final product. I will continue the merge. I'll say similar spelling of name and same parents and same birth year and location. I spelled similar wrong. Now with Etta, I'm going to go in here and put her middle name. Now let me just click on her sources. Okay, it says that Eddie Brown Emerson was what it was on the birth record. I may need to go back and change that to Eddie if it was indeed Eddie on the birth record. I don't know if I'm going to get to see this actual birth record. I'll have to take the word for it from the indexer. Now I'm through merging this family and temple work can be done. I can click on Dickinson Brown and click on Tree. When I click on this temple icon next to Dickinson, it says Agnes needs her temple work done. They need to be sealed together. Harold needs his work done, and Etta has already had her baptism and confirmation, but needs the rest of her ordinances done. And I can request those ordinances now. I'll show you that in another video.